Hey there, fellow Planeswalkers, it's Steve for Collectormania, and today we're going to go over something a little bit different. We are actually starting a new series called Alternative Tuesday. So essentially what this is our vehicle to show off a little bit more fringe formats for Commander, like Brawl, Pauper, regular EDH, Two-Headed Giant, so on and so forth. We're really looking forward to using this just to kind of show you guys a different way to play the game. With that being said, look forward to these on Tuesday. We're going to start putting them up pretty regularly. And let's go ahead and break into the deck that we're going to look at today. So we are focusing on Brawl today. So we've got Shalai, Voice of Plenty. I'm not 100% sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comment section. Just let me know. So what we have here is a 3/4 flyer for 3 colors and a white. Legendary creature angel, of course, with flying. You planeswalkers you control and other creatures you control have hexproof, which is amazing. So essentially this is going to protect everything that we own. And then we've got an activated ability of 4 colors, 2 green. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So with that being said, we've got a little bit of a +1/+1 counter / dinosaur sub-theme going on here. So I'm pretty excited to show that off to you. But with that, let's go ahead and break into the deck here. So first up, we've got Llanowar Elves. So if you don't know, we are actually getting this card in Dominaria. I'm really excited about it being back in Standard and available to us for this format as well. Early game mana dorks are always great. You know, of course, I wish it was Bird's Paradise, but you know that's just wishing. I've got Shauna Sisei's Legacy. So green and a white, 0/0. Half of hexproof essentially, and she gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. So pretty powerful. I've got a Siege-Horned Ceratops, so one of those dinosaurs I was telling you about. Great creature, gets really to become a menace early in the game. You know, just as soon as it takes damage, it gets bigger, so really powerful. I've got an Atsukan Seer, so it's a colorless and a green and a white, and essentially taps for any color of mana. Then you can sacrifice it later game to get one of your big dinosaurs back from the graveyard back into hand. So that could be pretty powerful, especially with the dinosaurs that we're running. Then we've got a Deathgorger Scavenger, so this is essentially the scavenging use of the format. Really powerful, actually. I like the card. I've got a Jadelight Ranger, just a powerhouse card. Kinjali Sunwing, a little bit of a, you know, almost like a blind obedience type effect. Still really powerful. Manglehorn, a little bit of removal. Ramos the Indomitable. This is a powerhouse in here, of course. It is a 5/5 Death Touch indestructible creature that is most likely going to be active all the time because we have a lot of creatures with power 4 or greater, or we can make them power 4 or greater. Rishkar, Pima Renegade. So think about the synergy between these two cards. Essentially you tap out to pay 6 mana to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Now all of your creatures can tap to pay into the ability. So now you can put more +1/+1 counters on all your creatures, so pretty powerful. Armorcraft Judge, just good card draw. Ripjaw Raptor, a little bit more card draw. Territorial Allosaurus. This is a new card from Dominaria, so 2 colors, 2 green. It's got Kicker 3, so 2 colors and a green. Whenever Territorial Allosaurus enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, it fights another target creature, so a little bit of removal. Plus it's just a 5/5 on its own, so pretty powerful. Then I've got a Vizier of the Menagerie, so a good way to, you know, just play a bunch of creatures from the top of your library. It's a little bit of I wouldn't say card draw, it's more like card selection. It's an interesting card. I have played with it in Commander, regular Commander before, and it's worked out pretty well, especially in creature heavy decks like this. Angel Invention, so there's also kind of a little bit of an angel thing going on as well. So 3 colors and 2 white, Flying Vigilance, Lifelink, Fabricate 2. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Just a really good creature. Angel of Sanctions, good removal. Cultivator of Blades, we really want to get this creature out, you know, put the +1/+1 counters on it, and then continue to put +1/+1 counters on it with our commander, so can become a menace for our opponents. They've got Lyra Dawnbringer, so another new card from Dominaria, so 3 colors, 2 white, Flying First Strike, Lifelink. Other angels you control get +1/+1 and have Lifelink, so it buffs our commander up to a 4/5, and pretty much a few of our other creatures as well. So really powerful, actually. I've got a Verdurous Gearhulk, so yeah, this card's amazing. Grun the Lonely King, another new card. It's got Kicker 3. If it was kicked, it's entering the battlefield with 5 +1/+1 counters on it. And then it has whenever Grun attacks alone, double its power and toughness until end of turn. So I could potentially see just one-shotting people with this card. I mean, if you get enough counters on there and yeah, give it a little bit of evasion, you just destroy everyone. Then we've got Zeltapa Primal Dawn. So this is a powerhouse card. This is one of our biggest finishers besides Groon and you know, a few other angels. It just comes out and is an automatic threat, and it's indestructible on its own, so it doesn't even necessarily need our commander. But giving it hexproof is also nice as well. And then we do have a few planeswalkers in here, and with the +1/+1 counter sub theme, I decided this was a great include. You know, basically you play this, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Planeswalker spells you cast cost 1 colorless less, so that could be a huge benefit to us later. Growing Rites of Itlimoc, so amazing card. I mean, this is the only Gaia's Cradle that we can actually play in Commander, so if you get it flipped over, essentially you can tap it for a green for each creature you control. Really, really powerful. Love the artwork on this card. They've got a Wily Radiant Champion, our first Planeswalker, so 2 colors, a green and a white. Really what we're looking to do is just +1 here with a bunch of creatures on the board, make this thing a monster, and then if we need to, we can activate the other abilities as well. Then Nissa Vital Force, so good recursion, good way to make a blocker. It's just an interesting card, you know, even card draw if you want to look at it that way. You just +1 her once and then -6 her the next turn, get an emblem. Really powerful. Then we've got Ajani Unyielding. I love this card for the -2. So the Swords to Plowshares is great. The +2 is actually really good too, so reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all non-land permanent cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So, this being a pretty, you know, creature-heavy deck, we are running a lot of like you know, land permanent spells, stuff like that. So, just a ton of creatures, enchantments, and planeswalkers, really. Then I've got a few instants here: Heroic Intervention, Forsake the Worldly, Skyweller's Shot. I'm interested to try this card out. I've been looking for like good removal in white for the Brawl format, and I think this is kind of a better one, really. Destroy target creature with power 3 or greater than Scry 1. That's not bad, really. It doesn't have that, you know, like has to be attacking or blocking clause, which I really like. I've got Wildest Dreams, a little bit of recursion. Mouth, 2 feed, so essentially a way to draw cards and a way to create tokens. Fumigate, just a good board wipe. Rishkar's Expertise, another good card draw spell. And we're moving on to our lands here. We've got Blossoming Sands, Desert of the True, Memorial to Unity, so this is a new land from Dominaria. Enters the battlefield tapped, taps for a green. You can also pay 2 colors and a green, tap it, sacrifice Memorial to Unity. I'm going to keep saying that. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, really interesting land. Like I said, I love spell lands, so this is a definite include. Scattered Groves, Sunpel Grove, Tranquil Expanse, and then some Force and some Plains. So anyway, that is the first Alternative Tuesday deck. I hope you guys have really enjoyed, and let us know what you think about this series. I think it's actually going to be a lot of fun, you know. Like I said, it's a way for us to really explore things that we don't normally do, so just going to be interesting. So anyway, we will see you guys next time.